My name is Joseph Hargrove. Am 66 years old, a widower, and for most of my life, I thought I understood what family meant. I thought loyalty was a given, that blood was thicker than water, and that after everything ID poured into my only child, Emma, she'd stand by me the way ID stood by her. I was wrong. This is the story of how my daughter tried to erase me from my own life, and how, in the end, I made sure she'd never forget the lesson I taught her. The house on Maplewood Lane wasn't just a building. It was my life's work. A 3-story Victorian with a wraparound porch and a garden full of hydrangeas my wife, Margaret, had planted before she passed. ID built its deck with my own hands, refinished the floors, even carved initials into the old oak tree out back with Emma when she was just 6 years old, moved in when Emma was still in pigtails. I can still picture her running barefoot across the creaky floors, giggling, Margaret chasing her with a dish towel, sunlight pouring through the bay windows. It was a home built on memories, sweat, and love. When Margaret died of cancer 10 years ago, the house became my anchor. And Emma knew it. She always said it felt like home because of me. I believed her, but when Emma turned 30, something changed. She became distant. First a job in the city. Then a boyfriend named Kyle, slick, charming, and ambitious, with an expensive watch and a condescending smile. I didn't like him from the start, but Emma insisted he was different. It started small. A suggestion over Sunday dinner. "Dad," she said, her tone carefully casual, "maybe it's time to downsize." "The house is too big for you now." I looked up from my plate. "Downsize, you know," she said. "Sell this place, get something smaller. A condo maybe. Less upkeep. You could enjoy retirement more." I chuckled. "I enjoy it just fine here." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Just think about it, okay?" I did. And the more I thought about it, the more something felt off. Emma had always loved this house. Why push me to leave it? Then came the subtle comments. "Dad, this place is old. It's going to need repairs soon." "Dad, wouldn't you be happier closer to the city?" "Dad, you're not getting any younger every time." I brushed her off. But a seed of suspicion started to grow. One rainy afternoon, I went to grab some paperwork from my study. My printer was out of ink, so I opened Emma's laptop. She had left it there after staying over the weekend. I shouldn't have snooped. But something told me to look. Her email was open. A subject line caught my eye: property transfer strategy. It was an email from Kyle. I clicked. "Once your dad transfers the deed, we can start the renovations immediately. The market's hot. If we flip it in under 6 months, we'll clear at least $450,000 in profit. Don't worry, just convince him it's for his own good. Condo living will be better for him anyway." My stomach turned to ice. My hands trembled as I scrolled. More emails. Plans. Numbers. Even a draft of a power of attorney form. They weren't just trying to get me to move. They were trying to get my house. That evening, Emma came by again. I didn't wait. "Emma," I said, voice steady. "Why are you trying to take my house?" Her eyes went wide. "What? Dad, what are you talking about?" "I read the emails," I said. "You and Kyle. Property transfer, renovations. Profit." She flushed. "Dad, you're misunderstanding." "No," I said, louder now. "I understand perfectly. You want me out so you can sell this place and make money." She crossed her arms. "It's not like that. You're alone here, Dad. This house is too much for you. You should be grateful we're trying to help you." "Help me?" I barked a laugh. "By taking the one thing I've built my whole life around?" Her expression hardened. "Fine. If you won't sign it willingly, maybe it's time to think about what's best for everyone. You're not exactly in your prime anymore." That cut deeper than she knew. But I didn't let it show. "I see," I said quietly. "Well, thank you for your concern." Inside, though, something snapped. That night I sat in my study, staring at the old photos on the mantel. Me, Margaret, Emma. Birthdays. Christmas mornings. The oak tree in the yard, I thought about all the sacrifices. The overtime hours. The sleepless nights when Emma was sick. The college tuition I paid. The wedding fund I'd saved, money she blew on a trip to Europe with Kyle instead, and now she wanted to take my house. No, if Emma thought I was too old to fight back. She was about to learn otherwise. I pulled out my own folder of papers, documents Margaret and I had drawn up years ago. The deed. The will. The trust fund. Emma had always assumed the house was in my name. It wasn't. Not entirely. After Margaret passed, I'd quietly set up a living trust. The house was owned by the trust, not me. And I was the sole trustee, which meant I could do whatever I wanted with it. Including selling it. The next morning, I called my old friend and attorney, Richard. We'd gone to high school together. He was one of the few people I still trusted. Rich, I said. I need to sell my house. Quietly. He hesitated. You're sure, Joe? That places your heart, I am sure, I said. But I want it done my way. And I don't want Emma to know until it's too late. Within a week, we had a buyer. A local historical preservationist who loved the Victorian architecture and promised to restore it rather than flip it. The price was fair, lower than the peak market, but more than enough for me to start fresh. The papers were signed. The funds wired. Just like that, the house on Maplewood Lane was no longer mine, but I wasn't done yet. I waited until Emma called me, chirping cheerfully, Dad, Kyle and I are coming over this weekend to finalize everything. We've found the perfect condo for you. Perfect, I said. Come by Saturday morning. When she arrived, I was already packing boxes. Dad, what are you doing? She asked, frowning. Packing, I said, for the condo? Her face lit up. You finally agreed, I smiled. Not exactly. Kyle stepped forward. Look, Joe, this is for the best. I held up a hand. We're going tomorrow, Emma. But not to the condo. She blinked. What do you mean? I've sold the house, I said. Calm. Clear. Final. It's not mine anymore. Her jaw dropped. What? To who doesn't matter, I said. All I know is, you won't be flipping it. You won't be profiting from it. You won't be touching it. For a moment, Emma just stared at me, her face pale. Then she exploded. How could you do this? She screamed. This house was supposed to be mine. I raised an eyebrow. Supposed to be? According to who? You knew we needed this. Kyle and you and Kyle made your plans, I said, without me. Now you can make new ones. Kyle muttered a curse under his breath, but I kept my eyes on Emma. You wanted me gone, I said quietly. Well, I'm gone. But you're not taking my memories with you. You're not taking what Margaret and I built. That's mine. And I decided what to do with it. Her lip trembled. Dad, for the first time in years, I saw the little girl she used to be, the one who held my hand in the garden, who cried when she lost her first tooth, but that girl was gone. This woman had tried to betray me. I am moving to the coast, I said. Bought a small cottage. Peaceful. Quiet. Exactly what I want. She wiped at her eyes. I can't believe you'd do this to me. No, I said. I can't believe you'd do this to me. I moved out the next day. The cottage was perfect, small, but bright, with a view of the ocean. I filled it with photos of Margaret and me, and a few boxes of things from the old house. Emma called a few times. First angry. Then tearful. Then silent. Eventually she stopped. Word got around town. People whispered. Some called me ruthless. Others called me wise. I called it survival. A month later, I got a letter from the new owner of Maplewood Lane. She thanked me for entrusting her with the house. Said she'd keep the garden just as it was. I smiled. Margaret would have liked that. Do I miss my daughter? Every day. Do I wish things had been different? Of course. But I learned something at 66 years old. Age doesn't make you helpless. Love doesn't make you blind. And no one has the right to take from you what you've built with your own hands. Sometimes, revenge isn't about hurting someone. It's about protecting yourself. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying, enough. Emma wanted to get rid of me. Instead, she lost the house she thought would be hers. And I gained something she never expected, my freedom. I sit on my porch now, watching the gulls dive into the waves. The salt air fills my lungs. For the first time in years, I feel light. I still think of Emma. Maybe one day she'll come around. Maybe she won't. But I know this, I didn't let her erase me, and that, at 66 years old, is the sweetest revenge of all.